All right, so here we go. Yes, the dev team just gave us a ton of updates about the next major update. And yes, finally, confirmation that the update will be dropping on April 15th. Hell yes. And of course, we're going to be getting that new operations map. We're going to be getting the new weapon, Inferno Pistol, and Space Wolves Chapter Pack and Imperial Fist Champion Pack, as well as facing off against this badass boss here. I have gameplay up of all this if you did want to check it out on the channel. I'll try to throw that link in the description down below. But we also got further replies out on the official Space Marine 2 Discord. And yes, I have good and bad news about some things there. And I am going to go over your top comments later on in this video. So yeah, as always, leave a comment down below. But really hyped about this next update. I cannot wait for those of you that are on console to finally play this brand new operations map. I think it's by far one of the best operation maps they've added into the game. But anyway, let's get into the official stuff right now. Check this out right here. We've got a question. Just curious, are there any plans for being able to customize bots in solo mode? I would love to see the bots in operations wear helmets. That'd be really cool, and even take it a step further and fully like customize them the way you want. But we do have this response right here. This isn't planned. No. Remember, they have a priority list, and I think their priority is, of course, getting more customization in the game for all the classes, more packs, champion skins, that sort of thing. But I am curious, how many of you guys play with bots versus actual players? Is it 50-50, or is it 90% of the time you're playing with other players, or do you just go and play the game with bots only? I am extremely curious about that one. Sound off in the comments down below. But let's keep going here. We have this question. Will we be receiving a community update for this month? And the response is yes. But also alongside that, we're going to be getting a community event, which they did say would be dropping at the end of April as well. Now, they did have further details about this when they were asked, what is the next community event? And they go on to say this, can't say, but it won't be just an experience boost this go around. It seems like it's going to be a little bit more significant. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to be doing, because they've kind of been teasing this specific community event, and it's going to be based around feedback from the community as well. So we'll see how this one goes, if it can really bring back players in. But we do also have some unfortunate news about it as well. Check it out. Yes, I've got some bad news. You might still need pros for the next community event, and I was really hoping that would not be the case. The pro stuff has been a pain in the butt, but hopefully they've been fine-tuning it and it actually works this go around, because it has been an absolute pain in the ass in the past. So we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out and works. But yeah, kind of bummed to hear that you're going to have that requirement for sure. Now, we also have this question. So both champion skins can be seen in the test server, but only one comes in the update. But which one? So there's been some confusion about this, and to clear that up, the confirmation is this: both will be included in the update, of course. So yes, it's going to be Space Wolves and Imperial Fist. So just know that you're going to be getting both of those options there. Also, we have this right here. Female Custodes, are they canon now? And the response is this: guys, have no idea. Only thing I can tell is this: they're not in Space Marine 2 and won't be. That's it. So if you were wondering if we will be getting female Custodes or female versions of Space Marines, that is not going to be happening in Space Marine 2. I've got a question here, and I am kind of curious your take on this. Would you like to see something like that in perhaps Space Marine 3 or not? Or do you think they should just like avoid it altogether? Sound off your take on that one in the comments down below. All right, so Jimmy says this: weird ask, but do you know if the dev team are considering working on a setting that lets you run and do story or operations solo and without bot players? Asking before I throw the idea up on the Focus Idea forum so that it might be easier to grind out ordeals. Great question. I really didn't even consider that. So would you guys like the ability to essentially disable bots and to go lone wolf it on these missions and operations? Here's the response. Hi, no, it's an interesting question. I know several players would like to have this. Right now, this isn't a priority for the dev team. They're very busy with the Horde mode. You can still drop the idea on Focus together, though. Yeah, I think Horde mode definitely takes priority over something like that. It would be cool for challenge reasons to be able to solo it through some of these operations. Of course, with the help of AI bots even. But that would be cool for some sort of challenge series that was like officially implemented in the game. I don't know. Sound off if you guys think that's like a priority or not. I just don't feel like it is. Horde mode is definitely at the top tier list and getting more operations in the game, at least for me. Enemy variants, you know, more operations, that sort of thing, I think is just absolutely top tier priority stuff. But you know what? What do we got next here? We have this one right here. Well, who gave y'all this feedback? You choose. And the response is this: the players give us the feedback, a big amount. We, the community managers, show it to the dev team, both Focus and Saber, and then it's up to them to choose what is relevant and what is doable in a short amount of time. So yeah, if you guys have been giving your feedback and wondering how they're picking and choosing what to discuss, that is how they go about it. And they probably have this list they implement, which is a priority list based on how talkative the community is about one subject as well. And I think how prevalent the feature is through the game, you know, that's super important, that sort of thing. Also, check it out. Last question. I appreciate the time. Any word on base customization? Once again, this question is a hot topic, and the response is still something we're working on, but it's too early at the moment to share more with the players. And again, I'm kind of curious to see what this is going to do to the game in terms of PvE. Are we going to be seeing a ton of players wearing no helmets? That's going to be interesting. I think you're going to see battle lines drawn and a divide in the community. But it's not so serious. But I am kind of wondering how the community is going to be reacting to that one. Hey, check this out right here, by the way. We have auto bolt rifle with grenade launcher attachment. And Zealous goes on to say, I didn't know ABR with grenade launcher is a thing. Here's the picture he highlights. Check out that badass weapon. Would you guys like to see something like this in the game? Of course, he highlights the comparison there, but that would be very, very cool. And Mars Mission Man says this: any bolt rifle variant can have an auxiliary grenade launcher attached to it, so it'd be lore accurate on the Stalker bolt rifle as well. That is really cool to know. And it's got me wondering if they could do an attachment sort of system with weapons in the far future. I don't expect that sort of thing to be in Space Marine 2. However, it might be interesting for Space Marine 3 having some sort of extensive attachment system for the weapons. I don't know how many attachment variants there would be for bolter rifles, but I think there could be potential for that system to make its way into the Space Marine franchise. And you know, one thing I really appreciate about Space Marine 2 is its simplicity. There is some depth here, but it's really all about like getting together, having a blast, and you know, embracing the action and the moment. But we also have this. This is an interesting one. It went from, get this, don't be this guy to be this guy. And these stories are actually tied together. So check it out. It says, was helping a friend on Absolute, left the party open because we're happy to have another battle brother for the ride. Random says, don't throw grenades at me. It's making it really hard. I double checked with her if she threw any, since I knew I didn't. We both had 3 grenades, so I reasoned with him. He goes on to say, brother, we didn't throw any. We still had 3 each. We can throw them out now if you want proof. And the response was this: nah, don't try that on me. I saw you pick some up. And they go on to say, brother and the Emperor, we were at the start of Inferno. There's very rarely any resources at the start, at least for me in my runs. At least give us the benefit of the doubt. Sorry for the rant. So here's the update. Get this. It says, rarely do you encounter a battle brother who is perfect. And I guess he wrote, and he says this: hey, it was me. You're absolutely right. I was having a really bad day, had some bad medical news, and I brought bad energy into the game. It's no excuse, and I need to do better. I recognize my error and apologize. After you kicked me, I went on quick play, and it actually put me back in your game, and I wanted to take the opportunity to apologize then and there, but sadly you both left, which I understand because you probably thought I was going to continue to be a dickhead. So I'm glad you made this post. My behavior wasn't okay, and you were right to kick me. Sorry again. If we meet again in game, I'll do better. I'm genuinely not normally like that. This is so amazing to see, and this is one of the reasons why I love the Warhammer and Space Marine community. They're just so different. You know, I have found such camaraderie within this community. It's been wild to witness, and my love for this game has grown and grown as time progresses. So yeah, it's just amazing to see this sort of thing. And honestly, I'm not surprised by it. And it goes to show you just never know what people are going through. And I do like that he did say, hey, it's no excuse that I acted that way. But still, it's nice to see that camaraderie, you know, even in what seemed like an argument. You know, people get tired, they get worn out, people are overworked, all sorts of reasons. But it's good that people can come together and say, hey, you know what? I messed up. Won't happen again. Let's move on. All right. So yeah, now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. It can end up right here on the screen in a future video. So let's see what you guys had to say about my most recent video, shall we? So we have this take here. I'm going to be honest. Recently, Saber said something along the lines, we have stuff that even data miners haven't found yet, making it seem like they purposely put certain things in the code that would allow people to leak it, like they do it on purpose in a way. Yeah, and a lot of other like gaming studios do that as well. I totally agree, to get people talking about their game, hype it up as well. It is interesting on the official Discord, they don't allow people to share like exact screenshots of leaks, because the community managers can't confirm those leaks. It puts them in an odd position. So that is interesting to see. But I do agree that they do want to keep the hype levels going for this game. And I am extremely curious as to what it is that they're hiding from us. You know, what has not been data mined or what cannot be data mined. It seemed like to me that they're being extra protective of certain features that potentially could be very, very exciting in the future for this game. All right, we have Tech Marine sounds fun, but they're going to have to change some of the dialogue when the Tech Priests are complaining about not having a Tech Marine around. I think that could be an easy fix, of course. Next up, we have the Neurothrope Laser Beam is one of the most absurd things to me. It melts your health, and the hitbox is so huge that you still get hit if you completely dodge it at times. This has been a complaint since the beginning of the game, and I hope that they consider adjusting that. I wouldn't call it a nerf, but I would call it more of like a fix. I think that needs to be fixed for sure. And we have, if we're talking melee weapons for heavy, then the perfect option is the Bolt Storm Gauntlet. It's basically a power fist with a full auto bolter built into the wrist, so it could act as a hybrid primary melee weapon and reuse some of the power fist animations. It also works in terms of lore accuracy because aggressors dual wield them, and the Gravis captains can also use them on one hand. Hell yes, love all the details, and I love that you give the details within the lore. You know, you respect the lore there. So that would be actually really, really cool. But yeah, it goes to show the potential there of what they could do with the heavy. It would be cool if it could make it into Space Marine 2 in year 2, you know, because it's been like a highly requested feature that the heavy gets some sort of badass melee weapon. But there it is, all the happenings around Space Marine 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more news and updates I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.